She showed up at my front door, looked me dead in the eye, and asked, "So, when are you giving me the house?" I thought it was a joke until I got a legal letter saying my house had been accidentally left to her in my grandma's will. That's when I realized I wasn't dealing with a difficult neighbor. I was dealing with a narcissist who thought the world owed her everything. When my grandma passed, she left me her little old house in Maple Ridge. It wasn't much, just a cozy fixer-upper, but it meant the world to me. I poured everything I had into renovating it. New fence, fresh paint, landscaping. Turned it into a home she'd be proud of. I didn't change the soul of it, just made it shine again. That's when Cynthia Rowell, the next-door neighbor who had never once said hi, decided she had a problem. I'd seen her around, of course. Tall, always in heels, sunglasses too big for her face. The kind of woman who walks like she's in charge of the street. She never acknowledged my waves, never even looked in my direction. I figured she was just one of those cold types, maybe had some old grudge against my grandma. Then one day, she walked right up my porch steps like she owned the place and asked, "When do I get the keys?" I blinked. "Excuse me?" She smiled, fake tight-lipped, and said, "You know, like your grandma promised." I just laughed, out of confusion mostly, and that's when her face dropped, like I'd insulted royalty. She turned red, yelled something about me being ungrateful, then stormed off before I could say a word. I brushed it off until the mail came. I'd been getting offers from realtors ever since I finished the renovation, but I never looked too hard. This time, though, I noticed they were all from one buyer, and the offers were laughably low. Then it clicked. Cynthia had been trying to buy the house behind my back, and when I didn't respond, she spun up some twisted fairy tale that she and my grandma were best friends, and the house was meant for her. I started hearing things from neighbors, whispers that maybe I was squatting, that Cynthia had paperwork. Some folks gave me funny looks on walks, like they weren't sure if I belonged. Turns out, Cynthia had been spreading stories, claiming my grandma asked me to fix the house up, then hand it over as if I was some hired handyman doing a favor for the rightful heir. And then came the vandalism. One night, a huge section of the fence I'd just built got torn down, paint smeared all over it. A few days later, more lowball offers, this time citing visible damage to the property. She was trying to devalue the house to pressure me into selling it cheap. It was petty, but coordinated, and it pissed me off. So I went to her house, knocked, loud. She took her sweet time opening the door, then gave me that same smug look. I asked her, "You always been this entitled, or did your parents just never teach you what the word no means?" She didn't flinch, just said, "Nope. I've never been told no a day in my life," like it was a badge of honor. It should have ended there, but Cynthia wasn't done. A week later, I get this envelope, looked official, from the office of Wilkins and Pine, some estate attorney. Inside, a letter saying the house was rightfully hers, that the will had been misread, and she was the actual heir. For a second, I panicked, then my brain caught up. I looked up the law firm, called them. They had no idea what I was talking about. She had copied some online template, faked a letter, and tried to con me out of the house with forged legal documents. That was it. I was done being polite. I scanned the letter, posted it online, shared it with every neighbor, tagged the HOA, the neighborhood Facebook group, even the local community board. "This is what Cynthia tried to pull," I wrote. "She broke my fence, spread lies, and now she's forging wills." Turns out, I wasn't the only one she'd messed with. Folks came out of the woodwork. Stories poured in. Petty fights, harassment, manipulations. I wasn't just the target. I was the last straw. The cherry on top? The real law firm confirmed they were pressing charges for impersonation and fraud. Cynthia tried to walk it back, of course. Claimed I was ruining her reputation, but by then, nobody was listening. She'd burned every bridge in a 10-mile radius. And me? I rebuilt the fence with a few neighbors who showed up with paintbrushes and beer. No speeches, no apologies, just quiet justice. So now, Lus, who really owned the house? That's easy. I did, because I stayed standing. And she couldn't even face a simple no. Entitlement only works until it doesn't.